Welcome to my YouTube channel Shankhanad. Atmanirbhar, that is self-reliance, is the buzzword. Every alternate day, it is in news because of either signing of a contract with local vendors or plans for indigenized products. Make in India was the first step. In 2015-16, I vividly remember attending a meeting in South Block in which Mr. Anil Ambani presented his vision about Make in India. Time allotted to him was around 30 minutes. However, he spoke quite passionately about the subject and his plans for almost an hour plus. It didn't work out much, for him at least. However, since then, at least we as a nation have started thinking about Make in India. Atmanirbhar has targeted focus on specific sectors. First and foremost, and the top of the list is defense, thereafter pharmas, and then electronics. India has also decided to include private sectors in this scheme of things, which is really a welcome step and will be an impetus to achieve the goal of Atmanirbhar, and it will also have some competitions for our public sector undertakings. Post-independence, under Nehru, we believed and encouraged socialism. So, as a part of that, we formed a lot of public sector undertakings and given a lot of importance to them. In defense sector, mostly PSUs were used. However, this experiment just didn't work as accepted, and mostly all the PSUs were almost white elephants very soon. And they just could not live up to the expectations in production, quantity wise and as well as quality wise. The union culture created by the labor unions and things like that created further problem, and the efficiency went down further. In the defense sector, that is why we had to rely on imports mostly from other foreign countries, and which was the most sought for country. It was United States, USSR, because then we could in those days get our aircrafts, the tanks, in lieu of onions and potatoes, a barter system you can say. Not anymore. Now, after breakup, Russia also is asking for dollars, and so other Western countries. So our stance or our imports have changed, and we are now buying aeroplanes as well as tanks and other arms and ammunition from many Western countries also. In the olden days, in defense sector, we relied on ordnance factories for all the arms and ammunitions, but the output was very, very poor, you have to see. Whatever was yearly production planned, only 30% of that could be achieved. And such an important aspect of armament, only achieving 30% was a problem area. HAL, Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, DRDO, ISRO, and many other PSUs also did not do too well. Yes, ISRO thereafter and the missile program has done pretty well for India. All defense equipment like ships, aircrafts, tanks, even small little rifles and ammunition were imported. Not at all a good sign, I will repeat. This almost continued till as late as 2015-16. Few steps were taken for indigenization, we won't deny that. However, the major impetus as such is after 15-16. We have made some progress now, and we are really moving at a fast pace thereafter. The first aircraft we produced was almost in 1962. The manufactured aircraft was named Marut, and we almost produced around 147 of these aircrafts. However, even after manufacturing around 147 aircraft, they could not be used for combat because of lot of problems. And the major one I will name here, that was the engine and the airframe did not match. Mind you, this aircraft was supposed to be supersonic. However, it never could achieve supersonic speed. From that only you will come to know why it was a failure. Therefore, thereafter there was a lull. In army, Arjun tanks were made. However, initial stages, that is in 70s and 80s, they failed because their cooling system was not up to the mark. In desert area especially, the engines used to get bogged down because of overheating. Then we produced some small frigates and things like that for Navy. However, nothing much we could achieve. Even small things like rifle, grenades, and even protective gear for our personnel, that is soldiers, was imported. However, the story appears to be changing now. Mostly, earlier we imported from Russia, then now we started importing from US, France and other countries also. But the first step which has been taken for Atmanirbhar can be said to be in aviation sector. We produced those aircraft which I mentioned earlier, but there was a quality issue and also a quantity issue. The number of aircrafts which we had to make per year, we couldn't achieve. And because of quality issues, these aircraft could not be exported. The best example to tell you about this is the latest buzzword Tejas. This five-star aircraft was made under the category of light combat aircraft, and the project was conceptualized way back in 1980. And in 1983, mind you, a contract was signed for 560 crores. The first aircraft could be flown only in July 2001, and the first aircraft could be delivered only in July 2016. And then the next batch of around 12 aircraft were supplied to the Indian Air Force in 2020. So, a progress of this kind is just not acceptable. You all will agree with me. And these aircraft also, when they were supplied to Indian Air Force, they were cleared with only initial operational clearances. That means in combat using them was a difficult task. Final operational clearance was given much later. Anyway, till 2020, we almost had 32 plus 2 Tejas aircraft. 32 we had fighters and 2 trainers. Now what government has done is, based on the results of the Tejas Mark 1, which I have just told you 34 of them, government has decided to continue with Tejas aircraft, indigenous aircraft, which will be replacing all the MiG-21 which have been phased out over last 10 to 12 years. We require lot of squadrons to be formed. So, government has signed a contract with HAL for around 48,000 crores for 83 aircrafts. Out of these 83, 73 are fighters and almost 10 are trainers. Now let's go deep into the quality issue of these aircrafts. You know the Mark 1A which were given, 34 of them which I mentioned till 2020, had many problem areas. All the problem areas of Mark 1, that is Tejas Mark 1, which were, I just told you, around 34 which were supplied till 2020, were electronic warfare issues. Then trainers in numbers were less. Radar warning receivers, missile warning receivers had a glitch. Endurance of the aircraft was less. Fuel tank protection was a problem area, and so was the pilot protection. Now, according to Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, they are going to remove all these issues, and Mark 1 Alpha, that is these 83 aircraft which I talked about the contract, will be almost a 4th generation aircraft, which will be much better than many fighters in the world presently. And it is going to be much better than the aircraft which it is going to replace, that is the Russian MiG-21. So if this happens, then it is absolutely okay for us to wait for so many years. Now let's have a look at the indigenous content of this Tejas Mark 1 Alpha. It is 59.7% if we consider according to the costing, and it will be 70.55% if we consider number of replaceable lines, which is quite good. Let me assure you that no aircraft in no country in the world can make an aircraft indigenous with indigenous content of almost 100%. It is not possible. So this percentage of indigenous content is enough. Now, after Mark 1 Alpha, which will be supplied till 2026, we intend to introduce Mark 2, which will be much better in electronic warfare and other few things. And thereafter, HAL is planning to make advanced medium combat aircrafts, which will be starting somewhere in 2031. So in short, we can say that many squadrons of Indian Air Force will be of Tejas now, as they were earlier of MiG-21s. So it's going to be backbone of the fighter fleet. Now let's have a look something about the Army acquisitions. Defence Acquisition Council headed by Defence Minister has approved acquisition of 118 Arjun tanks, and they are better ones. This is going to cost the country around 13,700 crores. 820 armoured vehicles also will be procured, and DRDO will supply them. L&T developed 100th K9 T155 Vajra self-propelled gun have been issued, given to Army. The 101th was just given 3 to 4 days back. The project started way back in 2018. However, the delivery has been earlier than the schedule, which is a very bright spot in the Atmanirbhar activity, one should say. And you can see very clearly that the interest taken by the government in indigenization has proved to be right, especially for these self-propelled guns. Let's hope same will be for Tejas. Navy also, especially the Cochin shipbuilding yard, has got a contract of 10,000 crores for 6 missile vessels. Earlier also they have got some frigates which are indigenous in their production. Now the capital budget of Indian Air Force is much higher It is almost 59%. And I am comparing this with Navy and Army. Navy is around 54% and Army is just meager around 18%. If this indigenous production is given impetus and we start producing all this within our country, then the capital expenditure in the defense budget will remain within the country, which will be of great use for saving the foreign currency, or foreign reserves can be propped up or brought up. We require almost 1,35,000 crores worth of equipment every year, and for 21-22 it has been increased by government. That is, the capital expenditure is increased by the government by almost 18%. So you can see that government is very, very serious about buying equipment for the country, and that too they are serious about indigenized products. Air Force Tejas can be said to be the first major step in this direction, and for Army it is Arjun tanks, and for Navy it is Vajra missile vessels. Government, mind you, up till now was not taking interest or not showing mirror to the public sector undertakings as far as their performance was concerned. But now government has clearly indicated them that it is perform or perish. The performance has to be in quality of the product and the quantity also, in that whatever is the plan for yearly production, that has to be met. Government is mulling upon incurring some penalties also if that is not done, and that is the right step, I think. Inclusion of private sector also has really helped the government in this Atmanirbhar program. Aero India was just conducted in beginning of Feb, and not many countries conducted an aero show or Aero India like activity because of COVID. However, we persisted with it and it was a great success. We showcased Tejas during this Aero India show, and Saudi Arabia and few more countries have shown interest in buying this Tejas aircraft. That is what is very important for Atmanirbhar. We just cannot make aeroplanes only for our requirement. They have to be good in quality so that other countries also are ready to buy them, and then it can be said to be a good business. Atmanirbhar was definitely a center point for Aero India, and make for India and make for the world was the mantra given by the government. Many seminars were conducted on these lines. Indo-Russian MIC, a conclave on drones, Indian defense industry, shipyards and other things, and Bandhan, a ceremony was conducted for signing just MOUs, which was very clear indication that government wants to showcase its defense product to other countries and try and export them, which is a welcome step. India's scientific advancement in missile technology and space technology is well known to all and is top class. It is recognized by the whole world. It is praiseworthy. However, why Make in India or Atmanirbhar was not successful and possible in other fields was always a question. However, now with the government stance and this Atmanirbhar program, PSUs and private companies also participating in it, we can see a bright tomorrow. These PSUs will have to perform as told by government, And for that they will have to work harder for achieving good quality, and they will have to maintain the timelines also. Like for Tejas, it is 16 aircraft per year, same is for the tanks and other ammunitions, arms and ammunitions. So target maintaining is very important. This is the only way we can be Atmanirbhar as said by government time and again. If the quality of the products is good and it is proven by operations within India, then I am sure that foreign countries also will like to export this. Tejas hopefully succeeds in this activity and will be the first fighter which will be exported to many countries. This is the only way foreign countries can be attracted and the export can be increased. This I can confidently say is the best times of PSUs to prove their mettle, and the participation of private sector will definitely have a competitive spirit thrown in for PSUs. So PSUs should live up to it. Government is doing its bit. Now it is the turn of PSUs and our private sector to hold government's hand and move forward in this Atmanirbhar Bharat program. If you have liked my video, I will request you to subscribe, give likes and comments if any. Thank you.